everyone. Today I'm going to review this book. This is from Jacqueline Wilson, the same author as Lily Alone. This story is called Candyfloss, and the main character in this story is named Floss. But I think after this she's named Candyfloss now because her hair is pink. So let's start. So this is a story about a girl having two different families because her mother and father broke up. And then her mother married a man named Steve, she called him stepfather. And then her mom had a baby son. The boy is named Tiger. Actually, his real name was Tim, but Floss said Tiger fit him better. Floss hates Tiger. She says that Tiger always gets the most attention. Steven doesn't like her, and she wants to stay with her dad. It was her birthday. However, Steven said because it was her birthday, they're going to Australia. But Floss loved her father. She even stayed at home later in the story just to not go to Australia with her stepdad and her step sibling. I don't know how we called sibling with different from a stepfather. I know. So let's continue. So Candyfloss decided to stay at home instead of go to Australia with her mom's family. Now at home, her dad wasn't very much rich. However, they have a fun time together until they realize their dad's cafe, need to be sold to someone in order to have enough money to live. So that's what they did. They go to a man's house. That man is called Billy the Chip because he's usually a customer there. Now Billy doesn't have a big home, but it was quite nice. Then he says he needs to go to Australia where her mom was because his son, Billy's son, not father's son, Billy's son is over there and he wanted to help him. So that's what he did. But before he did, he wanted to ask Floss, what do Floss think the son will react when seeing him? Floss said that if she hasn't seen her dad for many, many years, she would have jumped over the moon. Billy joked that if you really did that, people from the International Space Station need to get you down. And Floss suddenly imagined that stuff. At school, her best friend, Rihanna, is liking another girl named Margot. And after she thinks Margot is cool, she suddenly acts weirder. But Floss doesn't like that. She liked the old Ronaldo. So she decided to break up with Ronaldo because she's mean to the new girl Susan. And then suddenly Susan and Floss became best friends. Then Dad get to borrow Billy's van in order to sell chip buddies. I don't know what they call, but in this book they call chip buddies. And then they go to the carnival to sell chip buddies. Suddenly one day, a group of madmen suddenly come and decided to tip the van over because the father said ignore their rude words, even though I don't know why they're angry. So when they're tipping the van over, the fat and the oil inside there catch fire. Now remember, Floss is still inside the van, so she was screaming for help, but the noise is so loud nobody can hear it, except her father suddenly realized that Floss is still inside, so he come and grab Floss out of there. Floss is alright. She doesn't breathe too much smoke, but she does breathe oxygen actually. However, her father had both of his hands burned, so they need to go to the hospital. There is one saver. It is Saul. Saul is one of the carnivore worker. It's a Candyfloss seller. She have a son named Saul. That is him. He saved them one time, and then when he come to buy chip butter from their van, he had saved them one more time. However, he did get stabbed in the elbow, so that he have a bandage too. Next thing they know is that the van is on fire. It is burned and now it cannot be used again. As Floss go to school, everybody in the school come over and say that what happened inside the van? Tell us the story. Tell us, because the story even get into the newspaper. So Floss decided to tell the story, that how he saved her, how much she had been scared. But Rihanna, Margot, and another friend, Junley, doesn't believe. She says like, oh, that isn't true. Melly Bum Chip doesn't even how to mash up a mashed potato. That's what they call Floss that. Then suddenly I was reading the way that Floss replied, and I think that she's really know how to stick up to bullying. She says that it's your choice to believe it or not, but it's the truth. So that's what she said. Susan also tried to be a good friend and come and said, it's none of your business. But however, Rhonda, Margaret, and Jiggly replied that nobody asked you, Swatty Potty. And I think this is wrong. Then after they go to the carnivore, then suddenly Floss realized that her dad fancied Rose, the woman at the carnivore. So no, it's not married yet. It's not marrying yet, but it's like working together. And so Rose has helped Rose has helped Floss and her father to sell chip buddies, because she actually, with some of that money, buy a new van for him. And she also already have a kind of a van for herself. And I think those two really match each other. Then one day, Rose asked Floss if she could dye her hair for her, so that she could be like a Candyfloss. So Floss said okay, and then she dyed her hair pink. And then she was named Candyfloss. I don't know, I think so. And that's suddenly where the story ended. After the story, I seen that her problem is not that friendship is magic. That's not the solution. Friendship, you could always have friends, like being friend with Renata, but that's not true. The solution to this problem, for anyone who did have a problem like this one, please find a true friend where you can believe. And if you can't find one, ask your family member. They will always be your best friend. However, I see in this story, they placed best friend not in like best friend in family, like in some country, but in this story, they were more like family are family. We should respect them, but they're not our friends. Best friends are friends around us, not in our family. And I think this thing is wrong. I think in this story, Floss's best friend should be Dad. Renanda, at the beginning of the story, should be her second best friend. And I don't see why you shouldn't have more than one best friend. It's always better with more friends. Thank you for listening to my speech.